All right, so let's dive into something that's, well, I'm sure it's been on everyone's minds lately. Can AI really replace software engineers?
Yeah.
I bet some of you out there listening, especially those of you who, manage tech teams or are thinking about the future of your business, I bet you've had that thought cross your mind.
Definitely a hot topic.
Right. And we found this really interesting debate
Hmm.
that tackled this question head on, and it was like a,
Oh, yeah.
high stakes intellectual sparring match,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
with two sides arguing whether AI could actually kick humans out of the coding game.
It got pretty intense.
It did. So we're going to break down the key arguments for you, and most importantly, we're going to try to figure out what you should take away from all this.
Because that's what really matters, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do we make sense of this and apply it to our own work and decisions?
Yeah, and I think what makes this debate so fascinating is that it's not just some abstract thought experiment,
Right.
It's reflecting this very real dilemma that companies are wrestling with right now,
Absolutely.
like the tempting cost savings of AI
Hmm.
versus, the undeniable value of human expertise.
Yeah, especially in a field like software development where things are changing so rapidly,
All the time, right? Constantly.
constantly.
So let's unpack the first volley in this debate.
Okay.
The pro AI side came out swinging. They really did,
They did.
highlighting AI's ability to code faster, cheaper, and across more programming languages than any human team could ever possibly master.
It's true. I mean, the speed is incredible.
It's mind-blowing. And they painted this picture of AI as like the ultimate coding machine, right?
Churning out lines of code like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
A lightning feed.
Yeah. And that speed and efficiency, I mean, it's really attractive for businesses, you know?
Of course.
Especially if you're looking to optimize your development process, streamline things.
Right. Get things done faster and cheaper.
Exactly. The idea is that AI could handle the more, repetitive, time-consuming coding tasks. The grunt work, so to speak.
Wasn't work, right?
Freeing up human engineers for more strategic or creative work, the higher level stuff.
The thinking, the problem solving.
Exactly. But that raises an important question, right?
Yeah.
If AI is taking over the grunt work, does that diminish the value of those foundational skills over time?
Right. Because then are we losing those skills as humans because we're not practicing them as much?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's where the anti-AI side really stepped in. And they argued that software engineering isn't just about churning out code.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's about creative problem solving.
Oh.
It's about adapting to these ever-changing demands and dealing with those, inevitable curveballs that get thrown at you.
Because there are always curveballs in software development, let's be honest.
Always, always. And they used this great example. They said, imagine building a vaccine appointment system during a global pandemic,
Oh, wow.
right?
That's timely.
Right? That's a brand new problem with information changing constantly, requiring engineers to think on their feet and adapt quickly.
In real time,
That would
basically.
be real time. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something to consider even if you're not a coder yourself.
Right.
This example really emphasizes the importance of adaptability and critical thinking in any job, really.
In any job, but especially in tech.
Especially in tech where things move so fast.
Exactly.
AI might be great at, following instructions, completing well-defined tasks, but how does it handle ambiguity?
Right.
How does it make those judgment calls when the rules are constantly changing?
Like in that vaccine appointment system example.
Exactly. Like, how do you program for something that you've never encountered before?
Right. And that takes us to another really heated point in this debate.
Okay.
Innovation.
Mm-hmm.
The pro-AI side argued that AI can actually drive innovation by, sifting through massive data sets,
Yeah.
spotting patterns that humans might miss
Right, using all that data to its advantage.
to its advantage. And they pointed to examples like AI uncovering potential new drug combinations.
Which is pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand that this kind of AI-driven innovation, it often involves rearranging existing data to find those potential solutions, right?
Yeah, like it's taking what's already there and finding new connections and possibilities.
Right. And the anti-AI side argue that that's not true out-of-the-box thinking.
Mm-hmm.
They use blockchain as an example,
Oh, interesting.
right? Like blockchain was this radical
Yeah.
new approach that wasn't derived from simply analyzing existing data.
It was a completely new way of thinking about transactions and data security.
Exactly. So it sounds like AI might be great at optimizing within existing paradigms.
Yeah, like making things better within the systems we already have.
But what about those game-changing innovations that come out of nowhere?
The ones that disrupt the whole system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a really crucial distinction.
It is, because it makes us ask, what does innovation really mean? In our own fields, is it about making incremental improvements, or does it require a fundamental shift in thinking?
Like, what are we really striving for?
And the answer to that question has big implications for how we view AI's role.
In everything, right?
In everything, exactly.
Now, let's not forget the human side of software development.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It's often a very collaborative process.
Very much so.
It involves a lot of communication teamwork. Those,
The urgent requests that pop up at the worst possible time.
always at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
And the pro-AI side, they argue that AI could streamline communication,
Okay.
taking over tasks like generating reports, scheduling meetings,
Mm-hmm.
or summarizing complex technical information for non-technical folks.
Making things easier to understand.
Exactly. But the anti-AI folks, they pushed back and they said, you can't just automate away human judgment,
Right.
when
Yeah.
it comes to navigating team dynamics.
It's complicated, right?
It's very complicated. They stress the importance of intuition, emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those unspoken dynamics that exist in any workplace.
Because those are always there, whether we acknowledge them or not.
Right. Think about it. Even if AI gets really good at scheduling meetings and writing reports,
Yeah.
how does it handle a situation where a team member is struggling,
Oh, that's tough.
right? Or there's a conflict that needs a delicate touch.
You need that human empathy.
Yeah. How does it factor in human emotions and ethical consideration?
Mm-hmm. Especially in high-stakes situations.
Exactly. And that's a really important point, especially for those of you in management roles.
Absolutely, because you're the ones who have to deal with those situations.
You are. And now let's look at some hard data.
Okay, let's get into the numbers.
Yeah, the anti-AI side presented some pretty compelling real-world results.
Oh, really?
A 2023 survey found that a whopping 78% of developers
Wow.
had to heavily modify AI-generated code before they could actually use it.
So it wasn't just plug and play.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
And it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Research also showed that only about 22% of AI-generated code was usable out of the box.
So less than a quarter.
Less than a quarter. So
Yeah.
so that's a pretty significant gap between the theoretical potential of AI
Yeah,
and the practical reality of using it in software development.
that's a big difference.
It is a big difference, and it definitely makes you think twice about those headlines proclaiming that AI is about to replace all programmers.
Yeah, because it's not that simple, is it?
It's not that simple.
Yeah.
So even with AI assistance, human oversight seems pretty crucial,
At least for now.
at least for now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this raises another important question, right?
Okay.
What level of risk are we comfortable with when it comes to AI-generated work?
That's a good question.
Right. Are there certain fields like finance or healthcare where human oversight is absolutely essential?
Where the stakes are just too high.
Exactly. And that leads us to the final point of contention in this debate.
Okay.
Responsibility. If an AI design system fails, who takes the blame?
Ooh, that's the big one.
It is the big one, especially if it's something high stakes like a financial trading algorithm or a medical diagnosis tool.
Where there could be real-world consequences.
Real world consequences. Yeah. The pro-AI side seemed to kind of dance around this issue.
They didn't want to touch that one.
They did not. Well, the anti-AI folks,
Yeah.
they really hammered home the need for clear lines of accountability.
Someone has to be responsible.
Someone has to be responsible.
Yeah, and it's a really crucial question, right? Especially for those managers and those in charge of making those big decisions.
No one signing off on the budgets.
Exactly. Even if AI becomes, incredibly good at coding, the question of human oversight and, ethical responsibility, it doesn't just go away.
It doesn't just disappear.
It doesn't.
Okay, so we've delved into this pretty heated debate about AI replacing software engineers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, a lot of nuances.
But let's shift gears a little bit
All right.
and talk about what this all means for you, the listener.
The person on the other side of this conversation.
Exactly, especially if you're a manager or a business leader thinking, hey, maybe I can just swap out my expensive dev team,
Human ones.
the human ones, for some fancy AI.
Right. The million-dollar question, can you just hit replace all on your human workforce and let the AI take over?
Right.
Well, not so fast.
Not so fast.
Remember those real-world results we were talking about?
Yeah.
That A large majority of AI-generated code needs significant human modification before it's usable.
Right.
That should give you pause.
It should.
It suggests that while AI can be a really powerful tool
Mm-hmm.
for generating code, it's not this magic solution that can just replace human developers.
So it's not just plug and play.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet, right? And the debate brought up this really interesting point about how we define replacing in the first place.
Oh, okay.
The pro AI side argued that, AI could handle many of the repetitive tasks, freeing up human engineers to focus on the more complex, the higher level work.
Right, yeah.
So it's not necessarily about, eliminating jobs altogether, but potentially shifting responsibilities.
Interesting.
Right. And I think that's a key insight for those managing teams.
For sure.
If AI takes over those more routine aspects of coding,
Yeah.
what does that mean for the skills you'll need in your human workforce?
That's a really good question.
Right. You might need fewer people who are simply proficient at writing code.
Just the straight up coding.
Right.
And more people who are skilled at things like problem solving, critical thinking, adaptability, working effectively alongside those AI tools.
So it's almost like AI could push us towards a more specialized workforce.
Yeah, where humans and AI are collaborating in these new and interesting ways.
And I think for those of you in management roles, this really highlights the need to think strategically about how you reskill and upskill your current team.
Absolutely.
If you're considering integrating AI into your software development process,
Yeah.
what kind of training will your engineers need
To thrive in this new environment.
to thrive in this new collaborative environment?
Yeah, because the skill set might be shifting a bit.
It seems like those soft skills we hear so much about.
Oh, yeah.
The communication, the collaboration, the problem solving.
Yeah.
They're becoming even more valuable in this world where AI is playing a larger role.
Absolutely, because those are the things that AI can't replicate as easily.
Right now, another interesting aspect of this debate is the question of practicality.
Okay.
While AI can generate code really quickly,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean that code is efficient or optimized for performance.
Right. It might work, but is it working well?
Exactly. And human engineers, they often bring this deep understanding of how software interacts with hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and they can write code that's not only functional,
Right.
but also elegant and efficient.
It's like the difference between, just getting the job done and doing it beautifully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so even if AI can produce code that technically works, it might not be the most elegant or the most efficient solution.
Right. And that can have real consequences.
It can have implications for things like performance, scalability, even security.
You don't want your system crashing because the code is clunky.
Exactly. And there are also real-world constraints to consider.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, let's say you're a manager in a company with a large legacy code base.
Mm-hmm.
Integrating AI into that environment, it might not be a simple plug-and-play solution.
It can get messy.
It can get really messy.
Mm.
You'll need to consider how AI will interact with your existing systems,
Mm-hmm.
how you'll manage data privacy and security,
Mm-hmm.
how you'll handle potential conflicts between AI-generated code and your existing code base.
Yeah, it's not just about the AI in isolation. It's about how it fits into the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for those managers out there who are thinking about making the leap into AI-driven development,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways?
Well, first and foremost, don't underestimate the importance of human expertise.
Mm-hmm.
As we've discussed, AI can be a powerful tool, but it's not a replacement for human judgment, creativity, the ability to adapt to those complex real-world situations.
And then those situations are always popping up.
They are so resist the temptation to just throw AI at every problem and expect it to magically solve everything.
Right. It's not a silver bullet.
It's not. Instead, think about how you can leverage AI to augment your existing team's capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe AI can handle those repetitive code generation tasks,
Yeah.
freeing up your engineers to focus on higher level design architecture, those tricky bugs that require a deep understanding of the code base.
Right. It's about finding that right balance between human expertise and AI assistance.
Exactly. It's a partnership, not a replacement.
Second, remember that integrating AI isn't just about buying a software tool and expecting your team to adapt overnight.
Yeah, that's not realistic.
It's about a shift in mindset, both for managers and engineers.
Mm-hmm.
You'll need to invest in training and development to help your team understand how to work effectively with AI tools.
Give them the resources they need to succeed.
Exactly. It's like giving them a new set of tools and showing them how to use those tools to build something even better.
I like that analogy. And third, be realistic about the limitations of AI.
Mhm.
It's not a magic bullet. It's not going to solve every problem you throw at it.
Right. It's not perfect.
It's not. There will be times when AI generates code that's buggy, inefficient, or simply doesn't meet your specific requirements.
So you need to have those human experts in place who can evaluate the output of AI,
Absolutely.
identify potential issues, and make those crucial decisions.
You still need that human oversight.
Absolutely. And finally, don't forget that the software development landscape is constantly evolving.
Always changing.
New technologies emerge, new programming languages become popular, new security threats arise.
It's a never-ending cycle.
It is. And your team, both human and AI, needs to be adaptable and able to keep pace with these changes,
So you need to foster a culture of continuous learning and improvement.
where your team is always looking for ways to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly, because the curve is always moving.
It is. This deep dive has really highlighted the importance of strategic thinking when it comes to integrating AI into software development.
It's not a decision to be made lightly.
It's not a simple yes or no decision.
Yeah.
It's a process that requires careful consideration, planning, and execution.
And a willingness to adapt and learn as you go.
Absolutely. And it's a journey that we're all on together as we navigate this exciting
And sometimes daunting.
and sometimes daunting world of AI-powered software development.
Yeah, it really feels like we've uncovered a lot in this deep dive into AI and the future of software development.
A lot to think about.
It's a complex landscape
Yeah, it really is.
with a lot of factors at play. But let's get practical here.
Okay.
What can those of you listening,
Mm-hmm.
especially those managing tech teams, actually do
Right.
with all this information?
How do we put this into practice?
Yeah, how do you make decisions based on this? Well, if you're seriously considering, integrating AI into your software development process, there are a few key things to keep in mind.
Okay.
First and foremost, don't underestimate the value of your human talent.
Mm-hmm.
AI can automate certain tasks, but it can't replicate the intuition, the creativity, the problem-solving skills
Yeah.
that experienced engineers bring to the table.
So resist the temptation to just throw AI at every problem
Right.
and expect it to magically solve everything.
It's not a magic wand.
It's not a magic wand.
No, instead think about how you can leverage AI to augment your existing team's capabilities.
Okay.
Maybe AI can handle, those repetitive code generation tasks,
Mm-hmm.
freeing up your engineers to focus on, higher level design architecture or those tricky bugs that require a deep understanding of the code base.
Right. It's about finding the right balance
Yeah.
between human expertise and AI assistance.
Exactly. It's about working together,
Working together.
not one replacing the other.
Second, remember that integrating AI isn't just about buying a software tool
Right.
and expecting your team to adapt overnight.
It's not going to happen like that.
It's not. It's about a shift in mindset,
Mm-hmm.
both for managers and engineers.
For everyone involved.
You'll need to invest in training and development to help your team understand how to work effectively with AI tools.
Give them the resources they need.
Exactly. It's like giving them a new set of tools and showing them how to use those tools to build something even better.
I like that analogy.
And third,
Okay.
be realistic about the limitations of AI.
Yeah.
It's not a magic bullet.
Yeah.
It's not going to solve every problem you throw at it.
There will be bumps in the road.
There will be bumps.
Yeah.
There will be times when AI generates code that's buggy and inefficient or simply doesn't meet your specific requirements.
It happens.
It happens. So you need to have those human experts in place
Mm-hmm.
who can evaluate the output of AI, identify potential issues, and make those crucial decisions.
You still need that human element.
Absolutely. And finally, don't forget that the software development landscape is constantly evolving.
Always changing, never stand still.
New technologies emerge. New programming languages become popular. New security threats arise.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It's a lot. And your team, both human and AI, needs to be adaptable and able to keep pace with these changes.
So you need to encourage a culture of continuous learning and improvement.
Where your team is always looking for ways to stay ahead of the curve.
Because the curve is always moving.
It is this deep dive has really highlighted the importance of of strategic thinking when it comes to integrating AI into software development.
Yeah.
It's not a simple yes or no decision.
It's more complicated than that.
It's a process that requires careful consideration, planning, and execution.
And a lot of communication along the way.
And it's a journey that we're all on together as we navigate this exciting and sometimes daunting world of AI-powered software development.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.